Hello? All right, we're good. USA versus Europe, cultural differences. And my headphones are still in. What's going on, everyone? Today we are back checking out USA versus Europe. This one is on cultural differences. Who will be victorious, USA or Europe? Actually, I don't think this is a competition. We're just looking at. I've done quite a few of these USA versus Europe videos. I don't think I've done one on cultural differences yet, which I am very curious to see what these are. I'm not too sure if Drew is coming from the point of view of an American or a European. So smack that like button and let's find out.
The USA and Europe are similar in size, population, standard of living, and lifestyle. But as an American myself, after spending more than 1 year of my life in Europe and visiting every single country on the continent, there are some major cultural differences that need to be addressed. Bonjour! Disclaimer, I know it's impossible to group Europe into one category. So these are general realizations that may not exist in every European country. Here are 18 cultural differences that Europe has over the USA. Sacré bourgeois en Paris. 1. Pay to use public toilets. It's not free to pee or do your business in public. You have to pay usually €1 to use the bathroom, even if it's just to wash your hands.
Okay, so he's been over, these are like the stereotypical same cultural differences, some of them that I've heard. Hopefully there's some new ones. Having to pay for bathrooms though. I feel like we covered this when I went through TikToks last week, where there were a lot of Europeans in the comments that were saying that you don't have to pay for bathrooms everywhere. I guess just a lot of European countries. This also seems just wild to me that like you have to like pay to use a restroom. We have public restrooms pretty much everywhere, and like unless you're in a really big city like LA or New York or something and you try going into a bathroom at like an establishment, restaurant, whatever it is, if you try going and use the restroom, they'll want you to be a customer to be able to use it, but there's still public restrooms everywhere.
To pay usually €1 to use the bathroom, even if it's just to wash your hands. 2. Water is not free.
Crazy.
When you order water in a restaurant, it usually comes in a tiny glass bottle and costs €2 to €5. They love sparkling water too, so make sure to tell them you want still water. Can I get a still water, please? Travel tip. Carry around an empty water bottle and fill it up in sinks or public fountains. It's all purified.
Okay, he's going through these so fast. The water bottle thing. You know what? I'm on board with having to pay for water at restaurants. You know, I think I've moved towards it. You would ask me this a couple of months ago, I would have been like, what do you mean you have to pay for water at a restaurant? But my thought process is tap water is absolutely disgusting. And most of the time I don't order water in restaurants. I'll order an iced tea or most likely a beer. But the having to pay for the water and knowing that you're getting like a nice bottled water, whether it's still or sparkling, I think that's better. So I'm kind of with the European way of having to pay for water.
3. Every city has history. In America, we don't have much to talk about before the 17th century. In Europe, some castles are 500 years older than the US even became a country. 4. They drive less. Public transportation is everywhere and efficient in Europe, and most cities are pedestrian and bike friendly. There's really no need for a car, and gas is too expensive anyways.
Okay. Stop it there. He is flying through these. The public transportation. You guys, I need to hear from you on this because I'm getting like mixed information on the public transportation system. And maybe it was just in the UK. I get that like the trains are down a lot and actually traveling can be a little bit more complicated, and it's also not always so cheap. Like sometimes it can be a little bit more expensive. I don't know. For the most part, you guys say that, hey, no, it's fairly like really affordable. Everyone uses it. It's good. But I've also heard a little bit of a small number of people clapping back saying, hey, no, it's hard. It's the trains are down and yeah. So,
bike friendly.
Let me know.
There's really no need for a car, and gas is too expensive anyways. 5. Sports are not a family affair. In the States, we pregame and drink beers and tailgate for sports games with our families and friends. In Europe, sports aren't such big events, except for soccer, which they love.
Wait. So sports aren't a family affair. I mean, I've seen Euro basketball and it looks really intense. I probably wouldn't take my kids to that. But what he said, soccer, a football game, I don't know. Can you take, like, what's the cutoff for ages to take to soccer games? 12, 13 maybe? Or do you just not take children at all? Let me know.
And drink beers and tailgate for sports games with our families and friends. In Europe, sports aren't such big events, except for soccer, which they love. 6. Smaller food portions. This is the size of a normal meal in Europe. And this is a standard Coke. Also, ketchup is not free and comes in glass bottles. Seriously?
That's a little crazy. Ketchup comes in these little bottles like this. Hey, they actually look really nice, but that's weird for me. That is like a huge cultural difference. And then you have to pay for the ketchup? That seems wild. That's like standard in America. If you go sit down, whatever you need, ketchup, mustard, ranch, mayo, anything you ask for, they'll just bring it to the table. Unless, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, when I visit a restaurant that is usually run by a foreigner who's not American, they will charge for things like ketchup and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely a cultural difference.
Ketchup is not free and comes in glass bottles. Seriously? 7. Cigarettes are fashionable. They aren't so looked down upon among Europeans either. I guess they don't have the DARE program in Europe. In other words, smoking equals cool.
Smoking equals cool? You know, I used to smoke. I smoked from, how old was I when I started smoking? I don't know, 15. From 15 till I was about 21, I smoked cigarettes, like a pack a day. And when I was a kid, you know, 15 plus years ago, a lot of people still smoked, but now most people don't smoke anymore in America. Not really at all. The older generation, there's a lot of them that still smoke. People will do nicotine pouches. They're usually just nicotine pouches that you put in your mouth. Most people kind of do that now just for health, which is kind of crazy because we're like the most unhealthy country. Like we've kind of stopped smoking while you guys still are. That's pretty crazy.
I guess they don't have the DARE program in Europe. In other words, smoking equals cool. 8. They dress nicer. They don't just throw on basketball shorts, a university t-shirt, and sandals. Sup, dude? They always dress to impress. And about those haircuts.
I get down with that. I like dressing nice. I'm at home all the time. That's why you guys always see me in like comfy clothes. Like I work from home, so I do get dressed up. I got dress clothes. I throw them on for videos when I have to do it. But for the most part, I like being cozy. If I go out though, I like dressing up a little bit nicer. The people in America though, not always dressing nice out in public. You'll see a lot of pajama pants out in the stores. It's pretty embarrassing.
And about those haircuts. 9. They can speak multiple languages. It's not uncommon to meet Europeans who speak 4, 5, or 6 languages fluently.
This beer is very good. Das Bier ist ausgezeichnet. To pivo je výborný. Je to pivo очень вкусное. To pivo je veľmi dobré.
10. They recycle
That's
more.
crazy.
Metal cans, plastic, paper, bottles. Europeans recycle more and take better care of their environment. In Germany, the government incentivizes you with 25 cents for returning an empty bottle. Empty water bottles can make you rich in Germany. Many Americans seem to throw trash on the streets without thinking about the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what city you're in. And some of this is, you know, location as well. A lot of American cities that you go into will be very clean. People aren't throwing trash everywhere, which I would assume if you're in like a major city in Europe, there might be some trash. Like, I'm sure it happens. It can get pretty dirty anywhere. We're just humans, right? As much as we put these guides in and these laws and all this stuff, a lot of us just have a lizard brain and just kind of go back to doing whatever we want.
Many Americans seem to throw trash on the streets without thinking about the consequences. 11. Coins actually matter. Don't lose your euros. This handful of coins is 20 euros or 24 US dollars. If these were quarters, it'd be about $3. See the difference?
That's crazy. I haven't used coins. I don't even know. It's had to have been years, maybe a decade. I don't know. I don't even use cash anymore. I just use cards everywhere I go.
If these were quarters, it'd be about $3. See the difference? 12. Toilets have 2 buttons. This makes a lot more sense, right? Big ones for poop, small ones for pee, to save a lot of water every flush. Also, bathroom sinks are tiny.
For little kids.
That is
13.
tiny.
Electric cars. It's more and more common to drive small electric cars in Europe. Once again, better for the environment.
Yeah, I'll give a little pushback on that. Better for the environment. The actual car, yeah, not pushing out fossil fuels, but for the most part, unless you're doing, I don't even know if I want to get into this with you guys. I feel like I'm just going to get hate in the comments. You know, like a lot of energy, you can have an electric car and then go to pump it, not pump it, go to charge it at an electric charging station that is having the energy being produced by fossil fuels at a different place. So I'm not saying electric cars aren't good for the environment. They are. It's just, until we can fully get all energy produced without fossil fuels, then we will finally be rid of environmental damage. Nuclear energy. Come on. I don't know why no one wants to go nuclear.
electric cars in Europe. Once again, better for the environment. And you can pull into these parking spaces and you charge it. It's so simple.
I want to say we are seeing a lot more electric cars here in the US though, so we're catching up to you guys.
Environment. And you can pull into these parking spaces and you charge it. It's so simple. 14. Fewer trash cans. I never had this problem back home, but in Europe, it always seems like there's a trash can every 2 miles. But believe it or not, the streets are clean. 15. Street signs are tricky. Can't find the street sign? Look on the building. It's usually there. 16. Dinner is an all-night activity. Expect to spend 3 or more hours schmoozing and eating with your friends at the dinner table. In the US,
I get down with that.
5 minutes to get our check, we talk to the manager. Don't be in a hurry if you're going to dinner with Europeans. 17. They love the outdoors. You'll notice this by seeing tons of parks and outdoor cafes all over Europe. They love their leisure time and they don't use their phones as much as we do.
Good. I mean, I don't really take, what am I saying? I'm going on vacation tomorrow. But when I was working like a normal job where I had to show up, I didn't really take a lot of vacations. That is something that we suck at here in America. Everybody just works constantly. You get maybe 2 weeks of vacation the whole year, and you guys get like weeks and weeks, months of vacation. Honestly, maybe too much vacation. I remember not even when I work for someone, even working for myself, when I'm like trying to go back and forth with someone in Europe and we're emailing, and then all of a sudden I'll be out of the office for the next 3 weeks. And I'm like, yo, what we got going on here? You're going to be gone for 3 weeks? How am I supposed to get this project done?
Their phones as much as we do. 18. Longer vacation. Many European countries, like France, have 6 or more weeks of vacation, or holiday as I call it. In the US, 2 weeks would be generous. So, what do you guys think? Did I miss anything on this list? I'd love to know your thoughts.
Sure you did, but it was really good though. Hey guys, check out Drew Binsky. It was a good video. Actually, I'm gonna hit the like button and subscribe. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.